Hello everyone, my name is Father Zach Thornbury, and I'm the priest at St. Katherine in Melbourne, Florida, and it is my pleasure to be able to introduce you to this new series, The Journey to Pascha. I'm going to talk about a period of time that we're in right now, known as the Triodion. Now this period is named for a special book of hymns that we use during it, but more specifically, I want to talk about this period also known as the Pre-Lenten Period, or the first 4 Sundays before Lent starts. These 4 Sundays are the Sunday of the Publican and the Pharisee, the Sunday of the Prodigal Son, Judgment Sunday, and then finally Forgiveness Sunday. On the first of these Sundays, we read about the Publican and the Pharisee, where the Pharisee, a religious man, becomes a sinner because of his pride, and the Publican, though he might be a sinner, is justified because of his humility. The Church gives us this reading right at the very beginning to show us that without humility, we'll waste the whole period of Great Lent. We have to learn to be humble if we want to benefit from Great Lent. On the second Sunday, we read the parable of the Prodigal Son, where a young man, believing he doesn't need his father anymore, takes all of his money, all of his belongings, and moves to the city, where he promptly spends all of his money, so much that he can't afford a place to stay, and he can't afford to buy food. So he reluctantly moves back in with his father. Instead of being mad at his son, though, the father welcomes him back with open arms. And the Church gives us this reading to show the attitude that God has towards us, to remind us that no matter what we might do, if we just ask God for forgiveness and come back home to Him, He will accept us. On Judgment Sunday, we read about Jesus Himself telling those who are listening that after His resurrection, after His ascension into heaven, when He returns back to earth to establish His kingdom, there will be a judgment of everybody who is and has ever lived. And that depending on how we live our life, we will either find ourselves with Christ in paradise or apart from Him and lonely for eternity. Here the Church is reminding us of the very serious stakes of life and the importance of how we live, so that we can really focus on that during the Lenten period. Lastly, on Forgiveness Sunday, we hear about the importance of forgiveness. When Jesus says that if we forgive other people, then God will forgive us too. But if we don't forgive those who wrong us, then we can't automatically expect or feel entitled that God should just forgive us for whatever we do. The Church is reminding us here that we should treat others like God treats them, and gives us one more thing to really focus about on the coming Lenten period. So this period of the Triodion is like a gladiator putting on his armor to get ready for battle. It's a time for us to prepare for Great Lent, which is also known as the arena of virtues. It reminds us of the correct attitude that we should have before God. It encourages us by showing the attitude that God has for us. It reminds us of the seriousness of the fight. And it tells us that one of the most important things is to have forgiveness in our heart for others. So do your best to make the most of this time, because Great Lent is right around the corner. And while the journey to Pascha may be long and difficult, what awaits at the end is worth it. Kalo agona, good fight.